With us again today, the former NBA player who's very much enjoying his first taste of international cricket. Is that fair to say?
Definitely fair to say. It's been a crash course in the sport, especially after yesterday's exciting match against Team Canada and Team Nepal. And if there's anything I learned in this format, every play counts, every play matters, every play can be the difference between winning and losing. It's all about efficiency and execution. And you mentioned those two drops. You just can't have that. You know, Oman's going to be kicking themselves if it comes down to the end. And they're going to look back at those two drops as the difference between winning and losing.
Now another chance, and the keeper should take this. He nestles underneath it, and he does hold on. Pratikatavele. Zishan Maksoud's a difficult bowler to get down the pitch to because he's very, very clever. He just holds it back. And Sa, with that kind of languid, wristy style that he has, he was looking to hit straight down the ground where it's shortest, but instead it just went miles up in the air. Easy catch when you got the gloves on for the keeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Simple play. We saw them doing dozens of reps with that same very catch in their pregame warm-up. So, I mean, that's it.
Everybody, subscribe Yushin TV for upcoming Nepal matches. Subscribe Yushin TV for upcoming Nepal matches. Subscribe Yushin TV for upcoming Nepal matches.
Catch, and that is now the first wicket to fall. It ends that opening partnership.
Yes. We saw in both matches in this series the team that won the toss electing to bowl and field first. Is that a typical strategy across all formats of cricket?
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly in the T20 format recently, sides very much want to know what they're chasing, and they also then get first use of the facilities. At this time of year as well in Canada, we're well into autumn now. You know, summer's a long time back. Mm-hmm. You know, you have that little bit of moisture early. It's a 12 o'clock start. So when you go out and kind of put your hands across the pitch, the playing surface, you could still feel a little bit of coldness, a bit of dampness. So any of the assistance you get from the new ball will be earlier in the day. And then as the sun hopefully bakes that pitch out, it should get easier to bat on. That's the theory. The problem for Nepal was yesterday they weren't able to execute that plan.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue it's harder to field when it's wet, though. You slip and sliding out there a little bit, no?
A little bit of that, but really the fielding, even though it's critical, you know, what the ball is doing to the batter is the most important thing. Is the slip's just going to come out of play here now? Final ball of the power play, probably about honours even, I'd suspect, as Dev Canal can't get off the mark. What an over from Zishan Maksoud. He's closer to 40 than he is to 30, let's put it that way. With 6 bowled, it's 39 for 1.
So, Lenny, advantage of knowing what you're chasing. When I was in the three-point contest in 2013, I was runner-up to Kyrie Irving. Beat Steph Curry in the semifinals, had the high score, and had the luxury of choosing whether I wanted to go first or second in the finals against Kyrie Irving. And same thing, I chose second because I wanted to know what score I needed to beat. Unfortunately, Kyrie Irving caught absolute fire, and I couldn't catch him.
It's a kind of double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Exactly.
You're hoping to play good on defense, like you were saying.
Yes,
and
precisely.
then know what you got to get. I wouldn't have picked you again. My basketball knowledge may be similar to your cricket knowledge, if that's fair.
Yeah,
I don't say that with some good grace.
But I'm sure you've heard of Steph Curry.
Of course I have, but I wouldn't have picked you just with your natural height necessarily. As the outside edge is beaten, good bowling from Fayez, but as a good three-pointer. But you were a good three-pointer.
I was. I led the league one year. I was one of the old-school big man three-point shooters, which now is very common in the league, but when I was in my prime, it was kind of a new thing. Big men shooting a lot of threes. We call them stretch bigs.
Stretch bigs.
Yep. I was a old school stretch big, and now it's commonplace. So almost every big shoots threes. Big meaning like front court, tall.
Okay, the front section of the court, yeah. This is whipped off his legs. Should think of a couple, even though it's the shorter side of the ground, and he will get there. Good piece of athletic fielding, one-handed pickup and throw to get off the mark for Dev Canal.
Nice hustle there. I could definitely see also if the ground's wet, slows the ball down on rollers like that, giving the fielders an opportunity to chase them down before it hits the limit.
Yeah, one of the tricks for Nepal here is gauging, given that they're on the same surface as yesterday, what a good score is going to be. We didn't think 123 was going to be a winning score. Nobody did in the entire venue, even the most faithful of Canadian fans. So Nepal have to readjust their sights. They have the benefit of knowing we're on the same pitch as yesterday. So they might not be happy with 120, but are they thinking 140 is actually going to be a really good score, particularly think about the way they bowled and fielded yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, if they can duplicate that performance on defense yesterday, I would say that's a great score. Look at how long this run-up is.
Now, this is going to be close, and yes, the finger goes up. It's maybe kept a little low. I have to say, it's possibly not the greatest shot. He's come right across the line. A big hack across the line. It skids on, keeps a bit low. The only question for the umpire will have been, has it struck in line or not? It's definitely going to on and hit the stumps. And the first LBW you've seen is given.
Yes, we didn't see any umpire calls yesterday. Let's take a look. Oh, for sure. That was definitely going to hit the wicket.
Going to go on and probably smash into off stump. So Dev Canal's promotion to number 3, just his second T20I, that has not worked. Ahmed Fayez but strikes, and the second wicket falls. Kushal Malla to the crease, and he just watches that one through. Gets us to the end of the 7th over, and the score is 42 for 5. So namaste, warm welcome along to the commentary bots. Andrew Leonard here alongside the former NBA star Matt Bonner. Matt, great to have you with us. Got something for you here. Actually got 2 things for you.
Okay.
You've heard my nickname, haven't you, in Nepal?
I have. It has something to do with this, right?
Yeah, with the Taklu Dai.
Yes.
I love the nickname Taklu Dai. So that means bald elder brother. So we've got to thank Sujan Shrestha for this one. He says that we've got to give Matt a nickname because we know he's really enjoying Nepal. He's going to be called the Lambu Dai. So you are officially now the Lambu Dai, which is the very tall or the giant elder brother.
I love it.
And it's so great to have
What
you
an
with
honor.
this. I've got to show you one more thing as well. This is what they call a Dhaka Topi. So I'm going to ask you very quickly, take your headset off. We're going to see if this Dhaka Topi is going to fit Matt Bonner. Let's have a look. I can barely get up there. Let's get a look. Oh, got to open that out. And what about that? What do you reckon? You have to bend down to show people. There you go. How good is that?
How does it look?
It looks, I tell you. Give a namaste as well. We'll give a namaste.
For sure. I do yoga.
We're struggling to get the headset on over.
I gotta adjust. We gotta figure out how do I work. What's it called one more time?
Get one more look. There it is. So that's the Dhaka Topi,
Dhaka Topi.
and you're the Lambu Dai now.
The Lambu Dai.
Lambu
I
Dai.
got it. I'm gonna have to add it to my Instagram profile. Red Mamba, Red Rocket, Lambu Dai. Got it.
We gotta love the Lambu Dai. So were they your playing nicknames when you were playing? That was you had kind of two very specific nicknames.
I did.
What was it, Red Rocket?
Yep, Red Rocket was my nickname when I played here for the Toronto Raptors. It was because, I mean, A, I have red hair, and B, I didn't have a car. I'd take the transit, the TTC.
Hold on a second.
Which
you
is
were playing in
Red
you were
Rocket.
playing in the NBA, and you didn't have a car.
No car. Look, Toronto's a big city, great public transit system, parking's a pain, insurance.
This was by choice, you're telling me.
Absolutely. It improved my quality of life. I didn't have kids. I was younger.
Man,
My family.
I took an immediate liking to you from the first time I met you, but I adore you now. You're a man of the people.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the traffic in Toronto, who wants to drive in that if you don't have to?
So
right?
you don't have the Tyreek Hill Lamborghini going?
No.
You're straight in on the...
I just want to get from point A to point B.
Good on you. Well, look,
Yeah.
what do you think of the nickname, the Lambu Dai?
I like it.
Yeah, it's good,
It
isn't
has
it?
a ring to it.
There's also a huge culture of respect in Nepal. Life is all about respect, and particularly to your elders. So what you'll hear, even Rohit Paudel, you'll hear him during post-game shows, he'll refer to the older players in the team, even though he's the captain. He'll say, well, Karen Casey Dai, Sampal Dai, bowled brilliantly, you know. And
I love that.
It's really nice, isn't it? A big part of their culture, and they're a very proud nation, and rightly so. It's the most beautiful country, and I think we're all shocked with the images and the catastrophes that have occurred, particularly in the valley, but also in the more rural regions of the country. We heard Rohit Paudel talking about his thoughts and prayers being with all of them, and all of ours are too. But it's great to have you now engaged in a bit of Nepali culture.
I appreciate it. It's an honor, and definitely our hearts go out to everyone affected by the flooding in Nepal, and hoping for as speedy a recovery for the country as possible with that.
End of the 8th over, and it's 45 for 2.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
So 8 overs gone. Nepal, they're going okay, but they are, for me, I've got to say, Matt, you know how closely I follow the Nepal side, all the associate teams, but they're in a rut. They're in a position, I think, from a confidence point of view, from definitely a little bit of mental fragility. It's been 163 days since they won an international. And they played a lot of cricket in that period. They were in great form in the ACC Premier Cup in April. I think many thought that they were going to qualify for the Asia Cup again. Then they lost their final two games, the two crunch games there, going down to UAE and Hong Kong. Then they were exceptional at the T20 World Cup. I'm also talking about full internationals. They did win a couple of games against West Indies A, as Rafiullah comes into the attack for the first time. That's going to be a wide down the leg side. But certainly going to that World Cup where they were so good, they nearly beat South Africa, which would have been one of the biggest upsets maybe in the history of the game. They lost by 1 run off the very final ball.
Man.
Heartbreaker.
Yes.
I'll show you some footage actually when we come off here. Amazing game of cricket. Very nearly beat Bangladesh, who are another one of the test nations. But since then, they did have a break, but 4 ODIs here, lost all 4. You could just see yesterday it was a confidence thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could tell. You could see the body language. See this run up. The body language, that last diving catch, it's tough in any team sport, especially with the grind that cricket seems to be. You mentioned like all these different tournaments, you're traveling, you're far away from home. It's so important to stick together and keep that chemistry and positivity going regardless of the result. Focus on the process. It's hard. I've been on basketball teams that stink, that lose a ton of games. But you just got to stick together and stick with it and know things will change if you do that. Coach Popovich, Greg Popovich, legendary NBA coach, 2 things. He's a big fan of the term pounding the rock. You pound the rock.
What does that mean?
You hit the rock with the hammer 100 times without so much.
It's eventually
going
gonna
crack.
yeah.
But on the 101st blow, it splits in half. And
You just gotta keep
that single
working.
blow was the 100 that came before.
Yeah.
And then he has another phrase: the worm will turn. Like if you're about the right things, eventually your fortunes will change. The worm will turn. on the Spurs when we were having tough moments, tough times, those were the two, foundational messages that would kind of get us through back on track.
What was kind of, I suppose, the longest period? Was it, a 20-game streak?
Yeah, well,
was there like a
we
period?
were really good on the Spurs when I played there. We won 2 championships. We were a contender every year. So
you didn't have a long...
It wasn't that long. Yeah, maybe we'd lose 2 or 3 games.
How many games you play in a season? It's a lot, isn't it?
82 regular season, and then however many in the playoffs.
Yeah. So
playoffs is like a second season if you go all the way.
Because it's like a best-of-7, best-of-5 match series, that sort of stuff.
The playoffs are like 2 months.
Yeah, big swing and a miss. Kushal Malla just continues to look a little out of form as the outside edge is beaten. Rafaela,
and you're seeing the body language now is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you're kind of sensing some of the body language stuff with these two batters. Like, it doesn't matter. You got to stay positive. You got to keep the energy.
Yeah, it's what it's all about. And I suppose the problems for Nepal haven't so much been with the ball and in the field, they've been with the bat.
Yep.
And that's the kind of the sole thing you do individually in cricket. When you're bowling, you got all your teammates out there supporting you in the field. When you're batting, it's just you and your partner. But really, it's about how you bat individually. As that's a big full toss. Now, it's going to be a no ball. So even if this is taken, it won't be out. Both umpires immediately indicating that because this is not pitched and it's gone over the waist high of the batter, it is a no ball. That's a good decision for me. Malla will get a single, but critically, as the 50 comes up, Asif Sheikh is going to get a free hit. And what that means, Matt, whatever happens here, he can't be out.
Love that. Let it rip.
It's a free hit. You do what you want. Now, the only little advantage for Rafaela is that because the batters have changed, he's allowed to change his field. So what he'll do is he'll set a very defensive field. Everyone will probably go back.
Why did that happen? Did the ball just slip for the bowler?
Yeah, so what he's doing there, he's looking to hit the block hole right up towards the white line, which is we call the popping crease there. And that's a very difficult place to hit the ball. But sometimes you just get it that even fraction wrong, your release point. The Yorker, which is what we call the ball when it goes up there, it turns into a full toss. And actually, he'll get a warning for that. If he bowls one more of those, he's going to be out of the attack. Here comes the free hit. No real timing. It was a slower ball. Doesn't matter if it's caught. It's not a drop chance. Don't worry. Wouldn't have been out even if it was caught. So one more run to the total and not too much damage done. But Rafaela, who's only come into this squad for the T20s, just battling a bit, isn't he? Not hitting his lengths and not bowling particularly well.
So the team that's batting, just spatially on the field, how much can they hear from the rest of the team sitting off to the side there?
Yeah, so it really will depend on the coach and depend on kind of the setup of the team. Some of the coaches are very active. They even actually sometimes walk around the boundary. You are now allowed to do that. A little bit of a change to the playing conditions a little while ago was that when we do have drinks breaks, the coaches are actually now allowed to go out, a little bit like you would in a basketball timeout, and kind of get the instructions more baked in. But the captain on the field, he is almost like the coach. So they've got a huge role to play. They make all the bowling changes. They decide who's going to go into which position. They'll consult with the bowler as to when they want to bowl and the like. But really, some would actually describe the captain in cricket as more like the kind of the team kind of manager, the team coach. It's not like in soccer or in rugby where really it's just a ceremonial thing. It's the guy who shakes hands at the start. Mm-hmm. In cricket, it's a massive role. And the difference between a good captain and a bad captain is very, very noticeable.
I can imagine. How important is it for the captain to be one of the better players on the team? Does that matter?
Edged, and it's going to be edged away for 4. Well, a spectacular effort from Pratik Attavele, but it's not a great first over from Rafaela. It goes for 10, and with 9 bowled, the score is 55 for 2.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
Zishan Maksud. He's been a thorn in Nepal's side for a long, long time. Definitely towards the autumn or the winter of his career, but still very experienced. One more look at this effort from the keeper. Great great spectacular athleticism. Look at this.
Oh, right off the fingertips. Great effort. But yeah, I was talking about captains, and you were saying how important it is in this sport. And in basketball, I think it's important that the captain is like one of the best players on the team. It doesn't have to always be like that, but I think in general, like on the Spurs, we had Tim Duncan, one of the all-time legendary, probably a top 10 player all-time in the sport of basketball. And he just set the tone for everyone. The coach could coach him. He would hold everybody accountable. It's like that's an all-time legend. If he's, doing X, Y, and Z, I better be doing that too.
Yeah, you better be on it with him. Now, Mala loves left arm spin. You wonder or suspect he'll take it on pretty soon, but for now he's happy to check it down for a single. In cricket, it's a little bit different because the strategy of the game is so advanced. People have described it as chess on a field. Chess in a 360-degree, massive playing field in conditions that can differ so wildly from country to country. As Sheikh goes down the ground, that's going to be 6. That's
over the
perfect place to hit, and it's going to go all the way. 6 runs to the total.
Yep, they're going to have a hard time finding that ball. Again, we got to look up what road that is back there.
We got Dufferin to the left.
Put a sign, watch out for cricket balls. Look at that thing.
And you can see it. Brilliant ball followed by Jeremy up there on the top of the tower, and the ball is indeed lost.
The camera
for the
guy
moment.
with the umbrella up there had to duck.
But that's where I think something Nepal haven't done particularly well is target straight down the ground. Because that's at this venue where you get good rewards. So, again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we've got 57-metre boundary straight down the ground from the north end. There's Jeremy up there. Give us a wave, Jeremy. Yes. Come on. There you are. Great job up there, my man. And then we've got 65-metre square boundaries, so that's 65 out towards the Dufferin Street Road, so for Asif Sheikh to his leg side. And then 60 metres to the offside where the fans are, and then it's about 60 metres back up towards us at the pavilion end. But just to answer your question a bit more about the captaincy, because you need to have advanced tactical minds and, really be thinking about the game, sometimes the best players aren't actually particularly good captains. And sides get kind of lulled into that. They're like, oh, well, we've got to make him the captain because he's such a good player. But then he takes it on, and strategically he's not very good. I'm not going to name names, but there's been lots of instances of it over the years. And actually, I think for me, Oman might have maybe fallen into that trap a little bit, because Akib Ilyas is probably their best player by a distance, but Zishan Maksud probably has their best cricketing brain, and Zishan Maksud was replaced as captain by Akib Ilyas in April, just ahead of their World Cup appearance. So what we've ended up with is maybe a little bit of a drop-off in the quality of strategical thinking from an Omani end, and I know Akib Ilyas will consult with Zishan Maksud a lot, but it's a bit different. You want that one solo leader.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. I think when those two things align, it creates a synergy in that position. Is all I'm saying. For sure, like if your best player doesn't have the sport IQ to execute strategies and be a leader.
And as you've seen, cricket is such a complicated game. There's so many facets to it.
Yep.
You talk about the matchups, the left-handed bowlers, right-handed bowlers, which side of the wicket you're going to come, whether you're going to have
so many variables.
A fast bowler or a spin bowler, whether you're going to bowl wrist spin or finger spin. And that's, I guess, for those that get into cricket, that's why they find it so fascinating. And I'll tell you something, no two games are the same. They really aren't.
That's for sure.
So Malak continues to be cautious. A little surprising. He often takes on the left-arm spinners, but it will get us to the halfway stage. Nepal have a platform. Can they capitalise upon it? With 10 bowled, we will have the first drinks break of the first innings. Nepal were inserted to bat, and they have got, at the halfway stage, to 65 for 2.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. Hazard! TD, ready for you.
Oh, we've got an exciting game of cricket on our hands here, don't we, Matt? And I see you've gotten your nickname as well.
Another nickname.
Another nickname,
My
exactly.
Wikipedia page is it's going to be off the chain. But a tremendous honor. I really appreciate all the support from the fans from Nepal that have been relayed to me from Lenny.
What is the nickname again?
What's that?
Yeah, what is the nickname again?
I don't want to mispronounce it.
Lambu Dai, right?
Yeah,
Lambu Dai, that makes sense. Because Lambu's tall.
Yep.
Tall brother.
I'm glad I asked because I'm Red Mamba. Kobe Bryant gave me the nickname Red Mamba, so I was thinking Mambu, but it's Lambu. So I didn't want to butcher
different
that.
regions altogether.
Yes, for sure.
That's the amazing thing about cricket and sport in general, isn't it? There's just so many cultures that you come across, especially internationally. I know you've played a lot of NBA, which is, well, I can't really say it's just based in North America because you definitely have international presence
it's a
different players.
worldwide game.
Exactly, and I love what NBA is doing in terms of growing the sport globally. I don't actually remember her name, but she works with the NBA currently. She was also involved with the Toronto Raptors. She helps with the development of the game globally. You may or may not know her, but when the name comes to me, I'll let you know.
Okay, is it Teresa?
It could be.
Yeah, Teresa Resch? Yes.
Yes,
She used to work for actually NBA International Operations with my sister and then came over to the Raptors. And, yeah, has done a lot to grow the game here in Canada and all over the world. It's really become a global game. You look at how many international players play in the NBA and how many have won MVPs, made all-star teams, and it's translated into FIBA, which is the international governing body for basketball in terms of the World Cup and the Olympics. It's made it really exciting. It used to be like, for sure, the U.S. is just going to blow everybody out, but now it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how cricket evolves over the coming years with the expansion of the new professional league here in North America. And you mentioned just how fast it's growing here in Canada. And now joining the Olympics, the next Olympics, I think that's really going to put a spotlight internationally on the game.
It's Akib Ilyas, the skipper, who's going to come in with the ball for Oman. 65 for 2 at the halfway point. Nepal are going to feel quite comfortable with the start.
And honestly, like, as someone new to the sport, the preconceived notion of cricket to the average sports fan in North America is like, well, I'm not going to watch it for a whole day or 2 days or 3 days. So this format, I think, is huge.
Cutaway, and it is in the gap. There's some work to do for both fielders.
Ooh,
just the outfield a little heavy there. Ball slowing down, about 2 feet short of the boundary. You know, cricket's changed quite a bit in the last decade or so. The introduction of the T20 version, the shorter versions, made it, well, just so much more marketable, especially in regions like North America where they're used to the shorter format of sport. Well, that's gone up in the air. Fielder getting under it, and a comfortable catch. That's going to be the third wicket for Nepal, and it's Kushal Malla. Big moment this for Oman, especially after the decent start that Nepal have had. Arif Sheikh, he goes for 25 off 20 deliveries. He got the start in, opening batter for today. Good stand.
Yep, just a few feet short there. I mean, almost kept it going. You see him get down on one knee, scoop it up, just didn't quite have the distance. That would be a warning track catch, as we'd say in baseball, right up against the boundary.
Well, difficult to judge those as well because the rope is right behind you and you don't want to step on the rope because if you do, that's the end of you. And we're just going to wait on getting our graphics taken care of because it is, in fact, Kushal Malla. Sorry, it is, in fact, Asif Sheikh who's gone. I was just getting back to that point about how the game has grown. We've got a lot of franchise cricket in pockets all over the world, similar to the big league that you were talking about coming here in North America. What it means is players from all around the world are now getting the chance to play in teams with players that you wouldn't necessarily expect to. It's Rohit Paudal out to the middle. And the skipper is off the mark with a single.
Yeah, that's important. Being able to play with top competitors. Take a look at that replay. Just a little bit short. Teaches you where you are and like what you need to do to get to that level. And you don't know unless you play against people like that. Like if you're isolated in a pocket and you're the best player, then you just think you're the best player, and then you go play at a higher level like this against some of these guys, and you're like, oh, actually, I'm not that good. This is what I need to get better.
Exactly. You know? And competition, you need to be playing against better competition to keep yourself improving as well. Yep. In fact, it's been a big game changer for the associate world. The associate players are now getting exposure to the top level athletes. Beautiful grip there. Just gripping off the surface, taking the ball away from the right-hander. It's going to be the end of the 11th over. Nepal 70 for 3.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
It's going to be Ayan Khan coming in with the ball. And just going back to that point of the competition and how the franchise setup has really changed cricket for the associate world. A lot of the top level athletes from the full members come in and fill the sides. He's gone big and he's gone all the way. 6 more runs here. And it's Kushal Malla.
That was an absolute shot right there. Deep ball. Easy 6. Nepal getting things going offensively here.
Well, it's good to see that the wicket has not slowed them down here. Ayan Khan into some pressure, giving some width on offer. And Kushal Malla did well to dispatch that. There was a fielder as well at cow corner, just a little wide of him, but the height well over his head. Some good looking shots today.
So what you're describing with the franchise players getting the top tier players, would that, like, in basketball terms, that would be the equivalent of, you know, a league starting in Nepal and they're going to get an NBA player?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly that. So the full members fill up quite a few of the spots, and then you've got the associates who then fill up the rest of them, and the hosting country will get the rest of the spots. But what it means is it's incredible, especially for the associate players who've now gotten the exposure to play with and against high-level athletes, some of the best in the world. It's actually up the game of the associate world altogether.
Oh, I bet.
And the other thing that T20 cricket's allowed is it's just expanded into a lot of countries that you wouldn't have necessarily seen cricket in. Oh dear. That's going to go down as a missed chance. Cutaway, upish. And really a half attempt there at a catch. Just needed half an inch more of a jump, and I think he would have been in contention of that wicket.
Yeah, it looked like he let up a little bit. Like he could have gone after a little bit harder. I mean, that's the third one they probably should have caught that we've seen so far this match.
Yeah, they've not done themselves favors here, Oman, in the field. 2 definite drop catches. That one I'm going to call a drop catch as well. 3 chances put down in this innings so far. And you really have to take these chances at this level of the game. swept all the way. That's 6 runs. In fact, it just misses going over that fence in the deep. It is a party here, and the Nepalese fans are enjoying the show that their players are putting on.
Yeah, they're heating up. Took out the no-frills tent there. Don't you want to make the sponsors mad? But incredible angle here. We haven't seen many like this with that distance. Just gets down, pulls it kind of behind him, up over the fans into the no-frills tent.
Well, slog swept beautifully by Kushal Malla. Expensive over this from Ayan Khan. We'll finish with a dot ball. It's going to be the end of the 12th, 85 for 3.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
We'll take a quick look at the Nepal batting card so far. Very good opening stand from both openers. 27 apiece for Anil Shah and Asif Sheikh. Dave Kanal, unfortunate for him to not be out there. Short stay. But all in all, a better start with the bat today for Nepal. And they've really navigated this first innings well. Tried to keep their wickets in hand while scoring runs. And we have seen some lusty blows around the ground.
We have. And if yesterday was any indication, you don't need to score a ton of runs if it's going to be a similar trajectory with the way the pitch is playing. Especially if Nepal can duplicate that defensive performance they put on yesterday. So it's nice to see them heating up, giving themselves a chance here.
Flighted, and this might be another one. It is! Straight down the ground, and an easy catch. Kashyap Prajapati in the deep does the work. Yep. And this is going to be the 4th wicket for Nepal.
Yeah,
it's the skipper.
Well hit ball, just perfect positioning on defense. You mentioned that chess match where you put your players out there in the field. Right place, right time, hardly had to move a foot.
Well, he's going to feel that he missed out on this one, Roy Paudal. It was in the slot. It was there to hit. He just didn't get the elevation and the distance. He's gone for 2 of 5 deliveries. It's a short stay for the skipper today. Skipper on skipper, and the Oman skipper comes out on top.
Yep.
Akib Ilyas picks up the wicket. Nepal.
कृपया सबैले एकैसाथ सब्स्क्राइब गर्दियौं, च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गर्दियौं र मेन्टेनेन्सको लागि चाहिँ हामी थोरै समय लिइरहेका छौं। च्यानल सब्स्क्राइब गर्नु भएको छैन भने च्यानल सब्स्क्राइब गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ।
Working the ball around, waiting for the loose delivery. And what's been very impressive from the Nepal batters today is despite the fall of wickets, they've kept the runs coming. Just smarter with their approach. Plenty of overs as well. We think about 140 might be par. Yesterday, low-scoring thriller. But I think if they could get close to the 140 mark, they're going to feel comfortable here in Nepal.
Yeah.
Give themselves something to defend.
I agree.
It's going to be the end of the 13th. Nepal 88 for 4.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
No Frills, big sponsor for this T20 series. It's where I shop, Manali, and it's Sunday, so that means I need to go there after this match. And,
Pick up some groceries.
My groceries for the week. Shout out No Frills.
Shakil Ahmed comes back into the attack. And a quick single picked up. What would you say has been the most fun part of cricket for you so far?
This is going to sound super basic, and everybody listening is going to be like, come on. But just really finally learning all the rules, basically. And you all have been great, because I've asked 7 million questions yesterday during the match. And now that I understand everything, it's made it so much more exciting.
Testing Kushal Malla. Wanted to go up and over. Ball just skidding through, staying a little low.
You get a piece of
Well, he got a piece of it. It's not where he wanted it to go, but he won't mind it. He's picked up 4 runs here, Kushal Malla. He's dealing in boundaries.
Nice 4 there. Sometimes you get lucky. Got lucky. Got a little, just nicked it. Fielders weren't ready for that. I don't think anyone was. I don't think he was. But yeah, and also this format, you basically got 120 balls, and you got to make everyone count on both ends, defense and offense.
Well, that's going to be wide. Very wide, in fact. Just trying to keep that ball as far away from the hands of Kushal Malla, aiming for that wide off-stump line, going full and wide. Well into the 14th over here. Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, to people who don't quite understand the sport of cricket, once you get into it, it's pretty easy to get into it, actually, and not the easiest. Yeah, there are a lot of intricacies. I suppose I feel the same way with my baseball knowledge, to be honest. I mean, I find it a bit simpler than cricket, for sure, but...
Yep. I like the 360 field, too.
Yeah, it gives you a lot more scoring options, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fewer foul balls.
And also, like, the skill of the batters to be able to try to control where in the field they hit it based on the positioning and the angle of the pitch.
Oh, and that just nearly pops up. It's going to be the end of the 14th over. 95 for 4, Nepal.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Well, with 6 overs in the contest to come, we're seeing about try and get to about 140 to be in a comfortable position.
You think I can get my credential to the No Frills T20 series changed to Map Honor and then have Lambu die?
I think that's doable. I think we can make that happen.
Okay.
It's Akavilias into the attack. I'm gonna see what I can do about that. I'll speak to the organizers for you.
And I'm now rooting for Nepal. Everybody listening.
Oh my gosh!
Yep, I have been converted. I'm with Team Nepal. Yep, Nepal plays Canada.
That's a tough one. I'll
be rooting for both teams.
And there's no such thing.
Yeah, I'm living in Canada, but I don't really have the cricket. This is my first cricket tournament, so Nepal is kind of taking me in. I might have to be a Nepal fan.
As long as you're with me when I'm standing against Lenny.
Okay. I make zero promises with that.
Played into the leg side. It's going to be another single, and this is a very disappointing side of Matt Bonner.
Is that Momo food truck here today?
Yeah, it is. So. I see the Momo food truck just behind the stands.
Go get some for lunch. I'm in. Honorary Nepal.
Well, the Nepalese fans are going to be excited to hear that Matt Bonner is on their side, looking for momos, that too.
I am. Lambu Dai wants some momos.
Going for the big hit. And it just doesn't have the distance on it. It's Kushal Malla, and he looked so good. Big wicket this, big moment for Oman, pegging away at Nepal at regular intervals. Akib Ilyas, the skipper, picks up another wicket to his name.
Yep, another moonshot. Warning track catch. I mean, just a few feet short. Nice hands there. Good positioning. Good strategy by the Oman team in the field, being in the right place at the right time.
They just haven't been able to get the distance, have they? Kushal Malla goes for 30 off 26. The catches that we've seen now in the deep, 3 of them just can't quite clear the boundary when they need to. Nepal 97 for 5 after 14.4, and it's going to be Gulshan Jha walking out to the middle. He's had a good 50 over series, Gulshan Jha. Good with the bat, good with the ball. And he'll want to try and continue from where he left off in that 50 over form. His side still needs another 30 to 40 runs here to be in a comfortable position.
They can do it.
He's bowled well today. Akib Ilyas, 3 for 10 in his 2.4 overs. Had a big moment just the ball before, and a massive impact in the game overall. Always good to see the skipper leading from the front.
Did I miss the drinks break? I missed it.
You did. It was at the 10 over mark. There definitely was one. Actually, we talked through some of it.
Okay, because I did two broadcast rotations back to back. That's why.
That's the end of the 15th over. Nepal 98 for 5.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
So 5 overs remain here for Nepal. They've had some really good patches of this innings, but a few old habits have died hard as well. Kushal Malla played some extravagant strokes and showed us the quality of his ball striking, but maybe just picked the wrong one to go after with that larger square boundary out to his leg side. And it has left him in a position whereby the final 5 overs are going to be critical and may well end up deciding the course and the context of this match. Kushal Bertellen in his new role, his unaccustomed role in the middle order, having played 45 T20Is and opened the batting every single time with a very good record at a good strike rate. They have shuffled him down to this number 6, and Gulshan Jha back into the team. He's been in great form on this tour. They're going to try and drive Nepal up above 140. Ideally, they'd like 150. They'll need to play well to get there. Arslan Kadir joins me, Andrew Leonard, for these final 5 overs. What are your thoughts been on the first innings? Nepal's kind of difficulties with the bat continue. They just look shy of confidence.
Yeah, definitely. I think Oman hasn't let themselves down with the catches. They dropped too early on, but they've taken all their catches since. And Nepal just not able to get any momentum into their innings whatsoever. They've got starts. A couple of their players have got starts. Anil Shah, Asif Sheikh, they both got starts. Just unable to carry on. Kushal Malla, he looked good out there as well. Just need somebody to put their hand up. Somebody to get something going for Nepal. Kushal Patel, more than the ability to do it. Same with Gulshan Jha. We saw that in the ODIs for Gulshan Jha with that 50. They've got to put their hands up here for them.
I think one of the problems is when you're adjusting to a new role, the difference between batting in the power play when there's two fielders outside the circle, the batting here, whether it's in the middle overs or at the death, the cheers are going around the ground for the 100 coming up. It's just a completely different mindset approach. The selection of shots that you're looking at, your range of strokes are different. So Bertel may take some adjustment. The thing that surprised me is that they've not just shifted him down the order, he also didn't bowl the other day. And you think about his performances in the World Cup with his leg breaks, he was close to unplayable against South Africa. This is edged away. Now, Kalimullah didn't react quickly at all. He's right in front of us. I don't think he picked it up at first. And that slight delay in picking it up is going to cost at least a couple of runs as Jha gets a crucial boundary.
Yeah, an important boundary for Nepal there. Just finding the outside edges. Ahmad Faz, but all along the ground. And Kalimullah, that big frame, he's got a big, long way to go down. He's just shy of Lambudai. He's not as tall as Lambudai, but he does have a long way to get down there, Lenny, and just not fast enough on that occasion.
Yeah, I think Kalimullah's about 6'4", 6'5", not quite the 6'9", 6'10" that Matt Bonner has got on him. We'll get a photo of those two later.
कृपया योसिन टिभीको च्यानलमा नयाँ हुनुहुन्छ भने सबैले सब्स्क्राइब गरिदिनु हुन म एकदमै अनुरोध गर्दछु। आउने जति पनि नेपालको म्याचेसहरू रहनेछ त्यो सबै नेपाल म्याचहरू हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ र यसै गरी चौका छक्काहरू पनि योसिन टिभीमै हेर्न सक्नुहुनेछ। धन्यवाद।
Boundaries, momentum coming for Nepal.
We said somebody's got to put their hand up. Gulshan Jha. I like the change from Rohit Patel and thinking from the Nepal squad. Get him back in the team. He's a young cricketer, quality cricketer, both with bat and ball. And right now, it's with the bat, 2 back-to-back boundaries for him. Lovely shot. Shot of the day so far, Lenny?
Yeah, but you just look at the intent. There's a different intent, isn't there? He's always trying to be positive. You have to remember how young Gulshan Jha still is. Tender in years. He's been through an awful lot this summer. Oh, and that would have been 4 more, barring the right boot of Ahmed Fayez Butt, who has worn it, I think, right on the toe.
Yeah, Ahmed Fayez Butt limps in the best of days. He might be limping a little bit after that hit there as well. But saved 4 runs for his team. But you're right about the intent there, Lenny. I think that's one thing that we've seen, especially from the young Nepali side. They can really push, and intent doesn't have to be boundaries. Run the singles hard, get the twos, especially with the fresh legs that they have. Push this Oman team. They're a lot more tender in age, I will say. You can push them a little bit more, and that's going to build the innings, something that we haven't really seen from Nepal so far on this tour to Canada.
Good bouncer. Just rush Jha for pace. Kalimullah does the fielding again down at deep third. Gets us to the end of the 16th. It is 109 for 5.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
So 4 overs remain. So 4 overs remain for Oman. There is the bowling card thus far. The problem has been Rafiullah has not done what his captain would have liked. Great to see Aki Bilias back into bowling form, who had a few difficulties in the ODIs, but again...
यदि हजुरहरू हाम्रो च्यानलमा नयाँ हुनुहुन्छ भने कृपया सबैले एकैसाथ सब्स्क्राइब गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ।
Again, it's that additional positive intent. It's the longest corner of the ground, and he gets enough to get 6.
Yeah, he did just a little bit, didn't he, Gulshan Jha? He really wanted to hit that square. Never any intention to keep that down. Wanted to get it all the way. The big boundary down there gets low and launches it over deep backward square leg.
The modern way, isn't it? You take on the fielder in the deep, ball spinning into him. This time it's the googly. Jha may not have picked it. It doesn't matter because he's smashed it high and handsome. Back-to-back sixes. Pressure on Aki Bilias. And the Nepali flag, it's flying high in King City thanks to this young man, Gulshan Jha.
Back-to-back boundaries in the last over. Back-to-back big ones in this over. Gulshan Jha, he's giving those Nepali fans, the flags are waving. Have a look there. They're happy with it. He's giving them something to celebrate here. Gulshan Jha just bringing the impetus to this Nepali innings.
It was definitely the googly, wasn't it, from Aki Bilias? You could see it out of the back of the hand, but Jha just played the same stroke. Look at it there. That's the first. In fact, that's the second one. Get down on the slog sweep. And Jha just measures himself. Slight change in the field. Another man's come over to the leg side. Gets it full enough to not go for 6 more. Will be a single. Amazing to think of Dipender Singh Airi hidden all the way down at number 8.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that. It's one of those things. As we look at that 6, what a hit that was from Gulshan Jha. There's too many options, you would say. It's a lot of all-rounders in the squad. A lot of people like bowl and bat.
I think it's something Nepal fans have had a bit of frustration with because of the... I think Monty Desai wants them to have a flexible order, but some batters maybe not certain of what their roles are at times as a consequence. I think a lot of it is around trying to maintain a left-hand, right-hand combination throughout. So usually Rohit Paudel would have come in at number 4, but instead they went with Mala at 4 to get the left-hander in, and then as soon as Mala departed, rather than it being Dipender Singh Airi, in comes Gulshan Jha.
Gulshan Jha proving him right at this state. If he keeps going like this, he'll get past 150 comfortably, but he has to keep going for his team.
He's the first batter across the 2 T20s now. We're into the second game of the Snow Frills T20 Cup. First batter to strike at more than 2 runs per ball, and he's done it really from the moment he walked to the crease.
Yeah, there's some turn-on offer there as well. So Sandeep Lamichhane, he'll be having a look. Aki Bilias, first 3 overs, took 3 for, but Gulshan Jha has taken a liking to him in this over.
Now, Kushal Bertel is trying to join the party. He's got it square enough, and he gets it all the way. 6 more. It's the third 6 of the over. Oman's captain taken to the cleaners in his 4th and final. The over's gone for 21. Nepal are on the charge. It's 130 for 5.
Seva is giving back to the community, making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's the no frills thing to do.
What an over that was, Arsalan Kadir, for Nepal. Is that potentially a momentum shifting over? It's 160 odd days they're waiting for a win in international cricket. Nepal. Is today the day?
It's a long way to go, and what a day it would be to do it. I want to give Nepal something to cheer about. Obviously, a lot going on back home. And the fans here, they're loving this from Gulshan Jha in Nepal. Aki Bilias, he's 3 for 11 in 3 overs. He's now 3 for 32. Kushal Bertel didn't get all of it, you would say, on the last ball, but you don't need to get all of it. Just a couple of centimeters beyond the boundaries, all it took. 6 runs to him.
And again, that's the shorter side for the right-hander. So that this is where the left-hand, right-hand combination comes in so cleverly. So something that we didn't see Nepal do with any effect yesterday was that sweep shot of the slog sweep. But Bertel and Jha have shown that it can be played. We didn't feel it was a bad surface yesterday. We've stayed on the same one. Still not quite sure how Nepal failed to chase down that 124 that they needed to win. They've got a lot more than that already. 3 to go. Kali Mullah comes into the attack and he's given the same treatment. It's the larger side of the ground and it matters not. It's 6 more. It's the Gulshan Jha show in King City.
Gulshan Jha, welcome to the party. At no point was there any intention to keep this down. Up and over, there are 2 men out there. One at third man at deep point. And he says, don't worry about it. I'll hit this over the rope. Gulshan Jha on a roll here for Nepal.
This is why you've got to keep the faith. We heard Matt Bonner earlier, didn't we, talking about those periods of your professional sporting career where you just can't seem to find momentum or victories, and you've just got to keep pressing. That's exactly what this youngster's doing. What a tour he's having. Scores of 15, 53 and 34 in the ODIs, alongside 7 wickets with the ball. And now, right from the off, as soon as he walked to the crease, he's showing all of his dexterity and his brilliance with his left-handed batting. This is a superb innings. 31 off just 11.
And you can see the plan for Kalimullah. There's 2 men out, square the boundary on the offside. He's going to go wide and full here again. And he didn't miss by much, Lenny. Just a couple of centimeters he missed by, and it went all the way. It was enough for Gulshan Jah to get under it. But you can see the plan is clear. Wide outside the off stump. Get him hit into that offside. Gulshan Jah, the form that he's in, and as he's showing us, form's really confidence, isn't it, Lenny? And those couple of boundaries there, a couple of sixes.
You think of what he's been through. You think of St. Vincent. You think of the heartbreak. You think of the hopes and dreams of 30-plus million fans riding ultimately in that final over on his shoulders. They've never beaten a Test nation, and they came, agonisingly close. And actually, the way in which he was almost pilloried as the one who didn't get Nepal over the line, it wasn't his job. They were 88 for 2, needing 4.8 runs and over, with 5 overs left. They should have done that every single time. It shouldn't have come down to the last over, let alone the last ball. And actually, he hit one over the offside that went for 4, that got them to within touching distance. And then he nearly repeated the dose. It went for 2. And then the misfortune with what happened on the last ball, the ball colliding into his back, deflecting away to a fielder. I don't think you could blame him. And now he's shown his mental resilience and his brilliance with the bat. It's 4 more. Gulshan Jah putting on a clinic.
Yeah, full toss. The plan's not working here for Kalimullah. He's got to change it up here. Just not finding his areas. He's missing full toss on this occasion. And Gulshan Jah moving across his stumps. Going to hit this straight back over the bowler. And I'm not sure about the effort here, Lenny. The dive has to be put in.
He's done it twice in his short career. He went to an under-19 World Cup for Nepal in January, and he had, a horror show. He just couldn't get a run to save his life, and I think he went down with a lot of expectations there. Having already played so much senior international cricket, he was expected to really lead the way. Couldn't get a run, and what Monty decided there was he sent him away for a week, back home to his family, back out of the Kathmandu Valley, and he looked refreshed, and he came back and he was brilliant in the ODIs and T20Is through February, March. So I've just got to pay tribute to his mental resilience for such a young man. Really, really impressive. Going to be another wide. You can see the plan. Not easy to execute for Kalimullah. Oman, the wheels are well and truly off here.
Yeah, they're definitely. We were talking about 140, 150 a little bit earlier, Lenny. They're going to get well past this now. They're looking at 170, 180. You would have to say from here on forth the way Gulshan Jah is going. 35 off 13. You're 100% correct, Lenny. It's very difficult once you go through a hard time, not scoring any runs. He's all-rounder as well, so you've got both assets to play with, but just that confidence. And the one thing with runs will lead into his bowling as well, so he'll go into that innings with the confidence. You just need to turn it off sometimes, don't you?
But you think about the fact he's still a teenager. He's played, we'll just talk about this format firstly. He's played 33 times, 34 if you include today. This has gone a long way up. I think it's going to just about land safely. I wouldn't exactly call that an inspirational effort from Khalid Kale, and great running from Gulshan Jah gets him back for 2. In those 27 innings now, across the 34 games, have a look at this. He's batted 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So it can't be easy, particularly for someone so young, to adjust to all those different things. It really can't. And you see the partnership here, 47 off 18.
Yeah, 37 of those to Gulshan Jah, 37 off 14. And I think he's given Kushal Bertel some confidence as well, the way he's come out and struck this ball. But you're right, the only consistency there is change, isn't it? You don't know where you're going to bat, and he's come in.
But you talk about how difficult that is, particularly as a young cricketer. But for him to have that I suppose, dexterity, that flexibility to be able to adjust and adapt to a situation. Okay, he didn't get his side over the line ultimately against South Africa, and that was where the biggest microscope was. There was hundreds of thousands of fans gathered in public parks across all of Nepal, dreaming of a first ever win over a test nation, and you couldn't come closer. It was probably the game of the whole tournament in many ways. But for him to have that resilience, to come back, play the way in which he has here, it shows a great self-belief. It also shows, I think he's got good people around him. And Monty Desai, who manages these young men so cleverly, so tenderly, and with such compassion. I know it's been a difficult period, 160 games without a win. But there's going to be brighter days ahead. Cally Mullet wants the LBW. He's almost imploring the umpire. But given not out, wait for the signal, given his leg buys. What happened here, Arslan? Did he get outside the line, maybe?
Yeah, we'll have a look. See if we can have a look here in a second. But Cally Mullet, he was pleading. He wants that wicket. Just have a look. Yeah, certainly looks well. That's going to miss 6 stumps, in my opinion.
Good decision again. He's been exceptional. I tell you, the 2 home umpires, been very impressed with them.
Arnold Madela has been doing it for a long time here. Doesn't say much, does he?
61 years of age. He's looking great. How is he in his 6? I thought he was in his late 40s.
Hey, he looks great. He looks great, doesn't he?
He's living good. He must be living good.
We'll be happy if we look like that in 61.
I can assure you I'm not going to look as good as Arnold Madela looks if I get to my 60s. I think with all the air miles I'm clocking up, I might not even get there. This has been an expensive over. Lots of extras. And we saw, again, Canada and Nepal exceptional with that yesterday. They kept things very, very tight. I think Oman, a little bit like Nepal, they're going through a difficult period. They might be getting the game taken away from them here. This one squirts away. Should be a couple more. So he's already moved to 39 from just 15 deliveries. What an impact he's had in this game. It's 149 for 5. "50 partnerships up, and it actually came initially off just 19 balls, but now 52 off 20. How good has this been, particularly from Gulshan Jah?
You might say, what did Matt say yesterday, TSN turning point? This might be a TSN turning point for Nepal. This partnership has really put him in the ascendancy, you would have to say. Being asked to bat first, being asked to put a score on the board, this partnership has taken them over what you would say is a par total on this wicket. And it's just looking to get more and more. Put the real pressure on Oman.
I was also talking to Matt yesterday about the kind of one big over that can change the game, and you just sense that he's just slapped away, going to be 4 more. Everything must go right now, and Bertel is showing a little bit of form in his new role in the middle order. And these men and women in the crowd, they are euphoric.
And you brought up the 160 days, Lenny. It has never been about ability. It has been a little bit mental, you would have to say. Some of those demons have come in. They've got precariously close on a number of occasions. As Canadian fans, anytime there's a close Canada-Nepal game, Nepal always ends up on top. So I was a little bit satisfied that we were able to get over the line. You brought up the South Africa game. They've been close. They've been so close. They just need that one game, and you can see them just kicking on from there, especially for a young side. That confidence is going to breathe through that squad.
150's come up now as well. Gets away with a clever piece of bowling, bowled into the surface and just given us the one for the over. Yeah, I had a good chat to Monty Desai this morning, actually, and we were, being honest with you, we were mainly talking about, well, just how distressed both of us were about a place that we both adore, Kathmandu and Lalapur, the twin cities that make up the capital, the devastation back there. We were mainly talking about that, but he did say to me at the end, Lenny, you know something, one of the big things I always try to say to my boys, it's not necessarily about the results. That's obviously what attracts the attention. It's all about how we carry ourselves, how we conduct our processes, and the development that we're making. And I think he's continuing to see that development as really aggressive running from Bertel is going to get them back not just for 2, but they'll get back for 3. And that's one of the biggest cheers of the day. There's nothing quite like an overthrow to get the crowd going. And that is going to be given as 3 runs, maybe some bat involved.
I'm not too sure if Kushal Bertel got anything on that, but he's got the runs to his name. Yeah, a little comedy there in the end. They come through for 3. Ahmed Faz, but he's not a happy camper right now out there, I'll tell you that.
We were calling him, what were we calling him? The baddie in the movies, weren't we? The villain, Ahmed Faz.
Let's have a look here. Did he get anything on this, Lenny?
Don't know. I think if anything, it might have flicked the pad, but ultimately, it's given us runs. Bertel will take them. I actually like that aggressive piece of running. You might have said, okay, well, hold on, it would have been out with a direct hit, but they've got wickets in hand. They've got Dipender Singh up their sleeve, and they turn 1 into 3. And we'll just have a slight break in play. All of a sudden, the wheels well and truly off, aren't they, for Oman? There's been some good bowling, but for me, I think their fielding's let them down, those drop catches, and look at the economy rates of everyone, really, with the exception of Ishan Maqsood. Is that a miscount? Why has he only bowled 3 overs?
Yeah, you would have to say it is one that I think they wanted to get the balls in. And the other one that they've been really let down by is that 1 over from Rafiullah. He was somebody they're looking for. Came in from Mehran Khan. We saw what Mehran Khan did at the World Cup, especially in the middle and death overs. He was somebody that Oman counted on, and he has just been nobody that they could rely on at all. There he sees the first drop catch from the man that's with the ball in hand right now in the first over.
I thought for that one he had to go to Anzi. I know you were on call at the time. We're going to come back live with you. That was the second drop catch. As it's a perfect Yorker. That's where they're trying to nail it, the death. They're trying to hit that block hole. Almost impossible to play when you get it right. Get a look at the second drop catch. This, for me, was more unforgivable and a completely, just a misjudgment in the deep, wasn't it?
Yeah, just absolutely no balance in that whatsoever. That's a replay Khalid Kale will not want to watch later, I'll tell you that, Lenny.
The only thing I'll say is, on this outfield, it is quite undulating, and it can be difficult to kind of get your... It's a bit up and down, isn't it? And it's a bit soft, quite heavy out there, too.
Lenny, we're playing international cricket.
I'd have caught that.
Yeah. I'd have my money on the ball.
Whipped into the leg side. Protection out there, so should just be the single this time. Can Oman chase this down if Nepal end up with, let's say, 170?
I've got the ability. You wouldn't put them out of it. The one thing I've learned about associate cricket, Lenny, and I think you know this better than anybody, do not count your eggs before they hatch.
No,
What's the saying there? I'm going to ruin it, but
your
chickens before they hatch. There we go. I think that's it.
Well, Manali Patel's claiming that it's don't count the chickens before they hatch. That's probably wrong then.
Yeah,
it'll be some Canadianism.
Lenny, you've got Lambu Dai on your side. I'm going to be on Manali's side here. She's 100% right.
I've got to say, I love the Lambu Dai shout. Don't count your maple syrup
for the sap runs.
Okay. Got to get some maple syrup before I go home. Final ball of the 19th. Full toss, put down the ground, but protection out there. Going to be just 1 over remaining. It is a 9-run 19th. It's 158 for 5.
TD is supporting cricket in more because we believe Canada needs more cricket. Hazard! TD, ready for you.
So 1 over remains. 158 for 5. It's the highest score of this No Frills T20 Cup. And Nepal will be looking to finish in some grand style. They'd love 170 plus. They might even be thinking of 175. It's been, well, a virtuoso performance. Yes, credit to Kushal Bertel for the way he's teamed up with Gulshan Jha. But the youngster, the teenager, he's completely changed this match, hasn't he?
He certainly has. He's put all the momentum on Nepal's side. He's taken them over a par score. He's put them in the lead here, you'd have to say. Just a change of tactics here from Akib Ilyas. Kalimullah, he had his hat off. He was ready to come in, and it looks like it's going to be the left arm spin of Shakil Ahmed to bowl the 20th.
Yeah,
I don't know about this.
I can understand the concept because I don't think it's an injury for Kalimullah. He was good to go. But it feels a bit like pace on the ball has kind of gone the distance, isn't it?
Surprised this morning they left out Mehran Khan. I would have to say he didn't have a great time in the ODIs.
Yeah,
but this is his format.
This is him. This is T20 cricket, and he had a brilliant World Cup, absolutely outstanding World Cup, and that was Oman's last T20Is, and that was in what was a pretty disappointing campaign, probably barring the thrilling tie against Namibia. They did have a really good innings against Australia too, in fairness. They restricted Australia very heavily. In fact, they could well have won that game at some stages of it. Shakil Ahmed will come in to bowl his fourth. Bertel will look to hit straight, you would suspect. Comes across it, protection out there, and holes out. That's a good catch held in the deep, and an interesting celebration. Maybe one of, quiet down, Nepal fans. We've had enough cheering from you.
That's Ayan Khan out there, isn't it? And he was right in front of the hospitality tent against the Nepal fans, and he was having a long conversation with them. So I agree, but Kushal Bertel looking to go over the top. It's a big boundary. That's the bigger boundary for the right-hander. Yeah. I like it, Lenny. Adding a little spice to the competition.
6-wicket falls. It is 158 for 6 as Bertel, he departs for 20.
You were asking for him a little bit earlier there, Lenny. Depinder Singh Airi, he's going to walk out there now. He's got 5 balls. But you've got to say, probably maybe push for the single and just let Gulshan Jha have the last 4 deliveries.
Yeah, I think it's a funny one, isn't it? Depinder Singh Airi is a man who's at 6 sixes and an over. He can clear any boundary anywhere in the world. But actually his job here, because of the fact that it's Shakil Ahmed bowling and the hot streak that Gulshan Jha is on, he's got to get a single. And he's so quick. He can, any bat on ball here, basically to anywhere in the 30-yard circle is one. So no need to have a swing. Just get some bat on it and get Gulshan Jha on for the last 4 balls. And that is not a particularly clever piece of cricket, I have to say. You just need to drop and run. Irie's maybe the fastest in the world game. Big swing and a miss.
Yeah,
Good
sure
start from Ahmed.
Again, the momentum has been on their side for the last 4 overs since we've come on air, Lenny.
Tries to get 6. He may well have got it down the ground. He says, Lenny, you eat your words. I'm going to pongo him all the way for a maximum. What a strike from the one and only Dipendra.
What do we know, Lenny? What do we know? There's a reason we're here and they're out there, Lenny. And Dipendra Singh Airi says, I'll launch this over the top. Short boundary there. Gets it over the sight screen. And we might have to get another ball on field.
I do think this is something Nepal have throughout the order. I know there's been indifferent performances, lots of starts from their batters. They have definitely made a conscious decision to try and hit straighter. And that is reading the conditions. They're finally adjusting to those conditions and recognising, hold on, we've got a big disparity with the boundary distances, particularly from this end. I also think it's a misstep from Oman, bowling the 20th and final from this end. 57 metres is all it is straight. Airi goes bang for 6. And he's going to go bang again. This is massive. Oh, it's out of the ground. It's over the retaining net. New balls, please, the call. Airi. Oh, yes.
Airi, 9-ball 50 he had. He doesn't need that today. He just wants to keep launching them for 6. And he's doing it so well. And you're right, Lenny. They're hitting straight. And I thought that might be the advantage for them. He spent a lot of time here in Canada over the last few months. And look at this. Bang goes Dipendra Singh Airi.
That is right out of the screws. That retaining net there, never great with height. It's probably about 20 metres high, if not maybe 25. And that has gone soaring, not only over at Arsalan, but actually continuing to go up as it goes by it. And that is an extraordinary stroke. And look at the swagger of Dipendra Singh Airi. You have to love the Tiger. He's at it again.
What a brilliant cricketer he is. Bat, ball in the field. He's dynamic, and he's showing us why. 170 for 6 now, Lenny. 19.4, 2 balls to go. Can he go again? I suspect he will go again. He's not going to slow down here. It's a brilliant effort from Dipendra Singh.
Well, 170 is crossed, and this is much more like it. And I'll tell you something, the curation team here are going to breathe a heavy sigh of relief. They thought it was an excellent pitch yesterday. They couldn't understand why it was 120, played 110. But it's been very different today, and credit to them for sticking with this same surface. 2 balls remaining. Airi is going to get 4 more. 6-6-4, what a little cameo. He says to Monty Desai, don't hide me away at number 8. I need more balls than that. This is a brilliant finish from Nepal.
Dipendra Singh Airi, he's throwing the kitchen sink, the oven, everything at that one. Just gets the edge. Zishan Maksud had no chance. 4 more runs to the total. 1 ball to go here. This is going again, Lenny. There's no chance. This is going again.
Well bowled, Shakil Ahmed. I think they'll probably try and run two. And Depender Singh Airi is so quick. Look at him. He's going to get there. It's quite ridiculous how fast he is, and he'll sprint off with a swagger in his step as he's pumped 18 from just 5 deliveries. Who are we to say he should have taken the single? That has answered that for us. What a flying finish, a phenomenal assault from Nepal across the final 5 overs. We were talking about them aiming to maybe try and get up to 140 or ideally 150. But remarkably, the last 5 overs, Arsalan, they've gone for 78. And that's primarily thanks to those 2 men on your screen, Gulshan Jha and the...
है त टी20 वर्ल्ड कप पछिको लगभग एकदमै राम्रो पर्फर्मेन्स भनेर आजको गेमले चाहिँ मान्न सकिन्छ, जसमा 170/6 विकेट 20 ओभरमा रहेको छ। र के लाग्छ, हामीले लगभग जित्ने एकदमै धेरै सम्भावना देखिन्छ यो गेम, किनकि उतातिर पनि युएईले धुलाई हानिरहेको खाइरहेको के कुराहरू पनि सुन्दै आइरहेको छौँ। र हजुरहरूले आफ्नो प्रक्रिया पनि राख्न सक्नुहुनेछ कमेन्टमा गएर चाहिँ। प्रस्तुति देखाएकोमा हामी आज गुलशन कुमार झालाई लगभग नेपालले